Alright, we're going to be doing a video demo on a Microlight today. We're going to start with the battery here. You got 12 volt deep cycle marine battery inside here. You also have a battery disconnect switch underneath the tanks here. So you want to make sure this is disconnected if it's not in use and not plugged in. It does tow off your vehicle while you're, it charges off your vehicle while you're towing, and it does charge while you're plugged in. So if it's not plugged in, you want to turn it off. If you're towing or using it or plugged in, make sure that's turned on. Two 30-pound tanks here are full for you right now. We got the tank selector in the middle here. It's got a little point on it to select the primary. It's only going to draw off one tank at a time. It does switch over automatically if you open the opposite tank valve at the same time. And then there's a pressure-based indicator inside the lens to the tank you're selected primarily. It's gonna indicate pressure-based here. So it's going to be green if it's on and full and red if it's off or empty. If it does auto switch, it's still going to indicate to the empty tank. The lever doesn't move, but it does switch over internally. Tongue jack here, got pretty easy jack, on and off with the light on the red button and up and down with the jack. You also have a small crank handle that will manually override it in the event of a malfunction. We have a safety breakaway cable. This gets hooked up with the chains. And then let's see what else we got. We got a little convenience light here on and off. Stabilizers on all four corners. After you get the unit leveled, you're going to use your crank handle or your drill. Zip those down, plant them nice and firmly. We do have an aluminum countertop here that slides on to the other side next to the griddle. And we got some of the crank handles here. We got the small tongue jack crank here. And then there is the other silver one is the 3/4 inch socket for the stabilizers. And then the bronze colored one here is going to go to the jack override on, or the slide out override. That's going to crank the slide in from the opposite side on the frame, just in case so you weren't stuck there with it out. And then on the front side, we also have a fresh tank fill. This will gravity fill the trailer's onboard tank. If you did not have water where you were going, you can just put the hose in there, fill that up, and you can take that water with you. If you have filled it up, there is a drain on the bottom here. If you don't want to haul the water weight out, you're just going to pull this big drain here. That's going to drain all that water weight out pretty rapidly, so you don't have to haul the weight with you. You got tall storage here, fishing poles, stuff like that. Anything taller you can slide up in there. Definitely nice to have some taller storage. On the back side here, we got your city water connection. It's going to be a direct hose hookup. If you had water service at your home or campsite, it's going to be the most ideal water hookup. It's going to have its own pressure. So if you're hooked up with the hose, you do not require the pump on. It just gives you direct pressure to the water lines and faucets. And then antifreeze inlet for winterization. There's a valve on the inside that puts suction to this guy, so you can draw antifreeze using the water pump to winterize the unit. And then we have the little outside shower here. Just has a simple hot and cold on there. Pretty basic outside shower. This guy's going to slide up inside here, tuck away there. You're going to close it up there from there. We'll lock this guy up right now real quick. Oops, wrong key. All right, we got the tank drains hiding down here. It's going to be to the holding tanks. So they're color coordinated. So you got a black handle on the right for your sewer tank. Those are just going to open those to empty out that side. Then we got a gray handle on the left side. That's going to do sinks and showers. Always want to drain the black first, followed up with the gray. And then there is a rinse system to your black tank flush here. It's most important that you always have that black tank open and emptied with your hose hooked up before you ever pressurize the rinse system. That'll help rinse it out, keep it from falsely reading on you over time. Cable satellite hookups. If you had a full site hookup with cable or satellite service, you can plug those TV services right into these connections outside here. 30 amp power cord, that's going to be 25 feet long, 30 amp 110 there. Got the full size spare tire here. And then you are prepped for the backup camera if you ever wanted to add one later on. That model is always on display in your vehicle. That one's going to take the Furrion mount. Fully walkable roof. Want to hop up there about every 6 months, check over your sealant up there, make sure there's no splits or bubbles in it. That is a lap sealant, self-leveling white. Next to the outside kitchen, you got a little quick disconnect like an air hose fitting. Hot and cold shower over here. You'll have a little blue coil hose that goes on there. We'll pop the kitchen open here. We do have a little spatula here, towel rack, grease tray for the stove here. this guy's going to pull on out. It does have a couple more latches on the back side here to keep it in place. Guy's going to open right up here. You got the push button ignition there. And then the propane hose is tucked underneath here. So you want to pull this guy out and hook it up to your LP disconnect here. Just similar to an air hose fitting also. So that'll give you your propane for that guy. A little outside mini fridge, that'll be a 110 mini fridge there, so only on when you're plugged into power. Then we do have a transferable TV mount here. That's going to slide right out here, and you got connections, cable or antenna output here for the TV, as well as some regular outlets. Your griddle and the countertop are going to slide onto this track, and the griddle is also going to plug into a second LP disconnect that's hiding behind the tire there. We got a couple outside speakers up top there, connectable to the radio inside, Bluetooth and all that fun stuff. A little hood range, vent flap, exhaust fan above the stove. Got a couple tabs to just pop this open when you're going to use the fan. And then you want to make sure you kind of push up on those and secure that before you travel. A little furnace exhaust here. You want to make sure nothing flammable or meltable in front of that while it's running the furnace. And then the water heater. It's going to be 6-gallon propane or electric. It's auto ignition on the propane side. It's just controlled from your control panel inside. And then for the electric element, there's 2 switches. There's one on the panel inside, and there's also a second on and off switch here. Mainly for winterization. When it's emptied and winterized, this gets shut off so that the element doesn't accidentally get bumped on when it's empty. So you must have both of those on for the electric to work there. And then also you can run propane and electric simultaneously for the fastest recovery. And then for the slide override, there's a small hole beside the steps there underneath there. We'll lift the steps up, you can see it a little bit easier. So that little hole there is going to be the slide out override. That'll bring the slide in from this side if it ever malfunctions on you. Strut assisted solid steps here, they're almost weightless. And they do have a secondary railing here that can be added if you ever prefer that. They fold right up inside the door, and then the door just shuts between them and it doesn't allow them to move any further. Got the weight distribution hitch inside the compartment, a little bag that the cord came in. That's about it for the outside portion here. Got solar on the side too, so prep for portable solar if you wanted to add some solar there. Now power awning there is just a retract extend button inside. That one's pretty nice and easy. If you want to head on inside here. Just inside the door here we got the radio DVD player, speaker zone controls inside and outside speakers. That's also linked to the TV, so you can pop a DVD in there as well. We got some light switches here, interior porch and awning lights, and then your Wi-Fi Ranger. That's going to correspond to the sticker below. There's a network and password that's going to amplify your Wi-Fi signal and pull in a stronger signal if you're at the campground. You got slide in and out for the slide out, and then awning extend retract. And then your 2 water heater elements here. You got electric and gas water heater switches. Water pump power. If you only require the pump on if you filled up that tank in the front and you're not hooked up with the hose. You're just going to kick that pump on and leave that on for your water pressure. Then we have your tank levels. You got your battery, fresh tank, black and gray holding tanks. You're just going to push and hold to indicate. It will indicate empty to full on the top side there with the red dots there. So they are all empty at the moment here. We'll go ahead and run the slide out here. The slide's on a ram style, so you're going to listen for a clicking sound, and that'll indicate that it's fully extended. Alright, so there's fully extended slide there. And then got the sink there for you. And the Murphy bed here. There's a light switch here that's going to turn these 2 lights on. If they're off on the switches here in the center, they're not going to turn on with the switch there. But if you leave them on, you can turn those on and off with your switch there. And then for the Murphy bed here, you do have some reclining, a little reclining love seat here. You got a couple handles on the left and right side. That's going to recline them. And then they come with a couple countertop inserts if you want a little bit of space for laptop, schoolwork, drinks, or food. Those are just going to slide right in there. Generally want to leave those off for the slide. You don't want that to hit the slide and get caught in any way, so generally these will get left off when you're not using them. And then for the couch, you got this black lever here, or the black strap. You're just gonna pull this up, kind of like a futon style. Does access the front storage there as well. There's your blue coil hose for the outside shower on the door side. This is gonna fold flat here, and then we have your two levers up here that's gonna lock that in place. Now when the bed comes down fully, it kind of locks into place with the lever here. So before you put the bed back up, it's very important that you pull this, kind of like a pinball machine. You're gonna pull that up to unlock it, and you're gonna just fold the bed right back up out of your way. And a couple latches here, we're gonna latch that up in the upright position there. And the couch, the pivot points are kind of strong on them at first, so I always grab the back when I'm pulling it up. It gives you a little bit easier time putting it up and down. So you've got standard smoke detector there. We got the theater seating here as well, powered with 110. These are also recliners. The recliners are on pull strings here on both sides, tucked on the sides. These have the same kind of countertop inserts, as well as there's a little cup holder light. There's heat, a couple of settings. You'll kind of notice it goes dimmer and then off. Same with the massage. It's bright, dimmer, and then off again. Actually, that one has 3 modes. And those are only going to work when you're on 110. That's why the recliners are manual there. Got the TV there. That's going to be on a swivel mount, and that's going to lift right up off there to transfer outside if you wanted to move it outside. We got antenna rotator. This one just rotates for reception. You're just going to push this up. It doesn't go up or down, so it just rotates. So nothing to forget about with that guy. Then we got your propane stove here. This is you're gonna fold the cover straight up on that when you're ready to use it. And then you do have an electronic igniter here, so you're just gonna turn your burner on here, hold the igniter till it ignites for you. I do believe the propane's turned off right now, so it's not gonna light. But same with the oven, except for with the oven pilot, you want to make sure you push and hold this at pilot while you're holding the button over there. Otherwise, this one will not ignite unless you're pushing and holding this. They don't want the oven to fill with propane unknowingly. And then we got the converter box down here. This is going to handle the battery charging and onboard electrical. So we push it in the center, it pops open. Accessing all your breakers and fuses are all labeled nicely for you. And then next to your 12-volt fuses, there's also red lights. If you ever blow one of the fuses, it's going to light up red right to the right of that fuse. Makes it nice and easy to see if something's going on. And you'll generally see the red lights through the clear window there as well. The refrigerator here, we got the controls on the top here. You just got on and off for the fridge itself. And then auto and gas are the 2 functions you can choose from. When it's on auto, it's always going to go to your plug power first. It always wants electric over propane. And if you lose power, it's going to switch itself to propane from electric. And then if you plug it back in or regain power, it will switch back to electric if it's available. And if you want it on propane only, you're going to depress the button out, and that's going to light only on propane. It does have a check light here. If it tries to light on propane but fails, the check light's going to illuminate to tell you that it did not light on propane. We got the bunk here. Looks like your griddle's tucked in the back there. Looks like you got a gas grill with mounting bracket. The ladder here for the bunks. Looks like this bunk also will fold up. So it does fold in the upright position. There's a latch on the rear there if you have bikes or anything taller you want to store. And there is also push button lights on the top and bottom bunks. You're going to push those in the center, turn them on and off. Air conditioning vents are also up on the top bunk here. You got the louvers so you can close those off and twist them and point them around. Those are pretty nice ones there. Carbon monoxide detector down by the floor here, and carbon monoxide and propane gas leak combo there. And then we do have thermostat, pretty standard, cool, fan, and heat, and then your fan speed mode, as well as the temperature selector. That one's a pretty easy one. We'll move on into the bathroom here. Now, a pretty standard bathroom. We do have a little light switch on the left side. Toilet there. We got the flush on the bottom. It's got the pedal flush on it. You want to make sure there's always water covering the bottom of the toilet. That keeps those sewer gases from seeping up into the toilet there. And then just a standard shower. You do have a 4-speed crank up vent fan, so you got your black crank here that's going to crank it open. It does come standard with vent covers installed on the roof, so there's a cover above this vent lid here that has a louver and a screen on the back so bugs and rain don't get in. So you are able to leave this open for fresh air. Some people leave it open when they tow. It'll kind of draw out the stuffy air in here. You got your fan speed button. You're just going to push that 1 to 4 times depending on the speed you want to select there. Also a nice window in the bathroom, which is always pretty cool. Let's see what else do we got here. Owner's manuals and appliance information. Let's see what we have if they're in the fridge. Nope. Behind in the freezer. Maybe they're in the drawer here. So we got your 2 remotes. You have a radio DVD player remote as well as a TV remote there. Then we also have a heated mattress pad in the front. On one of the ends of the mattress is going to be a plug, and that's going to plug in this mattress heater control here, so the mattress pad will be heated. We have a water filter wrench. There's an inline water filter installed on this unit, and this is going to unlock that canister and untwist it for you, so if you need to change the filter or install a new one. Owner's manuals and appliance information in the brown bag there. And then, let's see, the key should be floating around here somewhere. There they are. So we got a couple sets of keys inside the top. Little sponge drawer here as well. Sink cover, a little strainer. And I do believe that is about all.